Thank you, my Paramount King. It is really interesting to have a conversation with you at this present moment, and we are sitting at the helm of a lot of things that are happening on our land. And I'm just sitting here as a paramount chief, asking myself a number of questions. The views of other kingdoms when it comes to the issues concerning the elections. So I want to hear the view from a tribal chief, because the paramount king of the Khoi people, to really come out and tell me and the nation and our viewers on what is your view about this elections, and I can share more views that I have. Over to you, my Paramount King.
Thank you, Paramount. My first initial application for this elections is that there was no fairness, first of all. Around the application from 94, as we can go back, it all started out in 94 when the accord was signed, the unfairness of the exchange of this country over, into the fairness of negotiations. And up till there, all the elections that came was all basically flawed, if you want to say it like that. What I am basically bringing over is that there needs to be a fairness of, it would say basically, the understanding of the people. Because when the people decide to make a decision, it must be fair. And for having your signature on a document or a ballot, and you know and understand that that is not right, because you're giving your power to certain individuals whereby they manipulate the situation. And for that, this thing is happening in the country. For us as leaders, we cannot just sit by and watch this country go into this rebuild. But we want to make sure that if we can get unity amongst the kingdoms and the tribes and the leaders, and that unity forced the bill to be rewritten, or the constitution, only then we can most probably find peace in this country.
Oh, indeed. This is really key what you just said, so that we can find peace. But I find it strange when we talk about peace and we still refer to the 1994 as a solution. My question is, what do you think about what happened in 1992 when they had the white-only referendum, but yet they want to speak about liberating South Africa? Where was there no method that was suitable, that was available to allow the people of the land to speak out, not an individual groups to speak out and to show their view? Because we never asked to be colonized. That's the first thing.
100%.
We never made an invitation 100%. To Europe to have citizenship in this land of our forefathers. So in my justice 2 cents, and I am looking at those, and it becomes a bombshell, something that is so massive to me to say our people are still living under the seriousness of poverty that can be shown and that can be seen. Yet we have a government that actually comes and to say we are the government. We didn't ask for. We didn't elect that government in the first place. And it took my mind when initially I went and looked at the statistics, the voting statistics of the country from 1994 up until here. The minority of the people have been the one executing the mandate, the governing mandate in the country. Because I then look into number of things, like the population that is eligible to vote in South Africa now is 45 plus million. who are eligible to vote, and you have children at the number of 19 plus million.
Yeah.
And then when you are excluding children and you look at the 40 plus million that you see, 16 million people in South Africa are voting or are attempting to vote. And when you look at the population that is eligible to vote, that can also make decisions, the majority has rejected the government from 1994 up until today. But do you think that there is a fairness on the process of the minority ruling the majority? Because once people refuse to vote, it means that they're rejecting you as a government.
100%. I totally agree. There was an unfairness because at this age in time, a minority decide on the majority, and it must be turned around.
Now I'm getting more interested to ask you a question. What's your view on the treatment that the Khoi people are receiving in this land?
My Paramount Chief, you know, when our people wake up by realizing that they are no more slaves, that they are no more tied, because the 94 application, I believe back that order, that referendum that was signed by Mr. Mandela gave freedom to the people. But the freedom was already taken back and put into a box. Now it is our duty as leaders to open that box. I call it the Pandora box. Because you can expect anything out of that box now. For the people to make a decision, it must come to a collective unity for us to make that decision. Because the government has no more recollection of what they're supposed to do. They've promised, they've neglected. And at this stage in time, the people have decided. Enough is enough.
How, my Paramount King? Because by the look of things, the people are refusing to speak.
New government. A new rejected government. You know.
So we formalize ourselves as
100%. We need to formulate a new government, but this government must be directed by the council of the districts.
Oh yes. So you simply agree with Umkhonto weSizwe, the MK party, when they are simply saying the government of national unity is not going to work.
No.
In fact, we need the house of traditional leaders to assist the government.
The kings have to decide.
Accountability.
The accountability needs to be applicated.
Accountability. Yeah. The accountable government.
100%.
It needs to account to who? It needs to account to the people.
To the people.
So meaning that in this land of our forefathers, we have no people. It is only the election that is the mandate of the people.
Yes, that's correct.
You've heard for yourself what the Paramount King has said. He said we need an accountable and responsible government of the people. Not only that ends at voting and that ends its power on decision making in Parliament. So, my Paramount King, and coming to that, I once had this massive vision of the accountable and accessible government, because I always ask a number of questions even to my viewers on my channel. What is an accountable and accessible government? And when you speak about the government of the people that is accountable, I was having this vision that says the conformation of the Parliament of South Africa, it is not done in a proper format. We don't have the upper house of traditional leaders that can hold executive accountable. And the executive order of appointment of our chiefs and our kings can't be lying in the hands of a system. A system is a system under the authority of the kings. The Council of Kings or the Council of Chiefs in South Africa can make decisions for themselves or for the people of this land with a direct consultation with the people. Why in 1994, when negotiations were happening, where were other tribes? Because when you read document, it's quite a few tribes that were there that participated in the accord, that participated in the treaty agreements and other things.
Well, none of the Aboriginal or the Khoi and some people was actually alluded to the conversations or the negotiations at the time. And for that, it all happens. When the application was signed, there was only one monarchy applicated into the new constitution of this country, which was the Zulu nation. Are you with me? So what I'm saying is that the First Nation people was never alluded to come to the table or asked or requested to come to the table. But now we have the opportunity to rectify it, making sure that when there is a referendum signed by the kingdoms and the kings, they will have to decide what needs to be done in this country for the future of our people.
Wow. You've heard for yourself, I'm short of words. The Paramount King has spoken. We need the referendum that will address the issues within the space of our community. I want to thank you for the time that you came and we spoke about this thing, and I am happy that finally the Khoi people will come out and speak about unity.
I just want to bring something to the people as well, my Paramount. We are a very spiritual people, a God-fearing nation. And my mandate for my people is to bring them back to the original order, which is serving God in the natural order form. First God, then the rest of the world.
Sovereignty, where does it fit?
Sovereignty fits where you understand that God is supreme in all nature. And we are a people that serve God since the beginning of time. And up till today, the only mandate that we received is to serve Him. In our hardships, in our poverty, in our lives, and whatever we are doing, we have never forget that God comes first in our life.
Thank you.
For this present moment, it is the seal of a kingdom that will prevail and bring this country to normality.
I have no other words to add on what the Paramount King has said, but the key of everything that he said first, that sovereignty is finding God. So I am saying to you, it is now the time that you should find your own sovereignty and understand your roots and know where you are coming from. I thank you. You always support and listen to the views from the channel, the views from the guests that always comes and sit down with me to engage about the community issues. I am here, your Paramount Chief General Kokosi Thekiso. Thank you and goodbye. Thank you, my king.
Wow.
This 13 minutes, I'm gonna break.